Okay, every single day, it seems some new information is coming out about AI music creation. And now I think is a good time to broach the subject from the point of view of a composer, from a songwriter. So here we go. The first thing is this. I want to get a little music theory knowledge in your head. In Western musical tonality, there are 12 notes to choose from. There's 7 what we call diatonic notes. This is C to B on the keyboard, right? From C to B. And then there are the accidental notes, the non-diatonic notes, the chromatic notes, if you will. These are the black keys, of which there are 5. And from those 12 notes, you get to make all of your musical choices. From Beethoven's Fifth to Blink-182, Madonna, Dua Lipa, Taylor Swift, whatever you're into, there's 12 notes to choose from. That's it. And honestly, of all those people I mentioned, except for Beethoven, typically today's pop music, the music that we love and enjoy, that we listen to on Spotify, streaming services, or heaven forbid radio at this point, you really only use 7 of those 12 notes, just those diatonic notes, that C to B on the scale. And of those 7 notes, certainly you can build interesting melodies and chords and harmonies and all sorts of great musical ideas like that, but it's still only really 7 to 12 notes. And of those amazing chords you can make, most songs only use 4. And look, I know what you might be thinking. Look at this piano. Look at how big, look at all these notes. There's 88 notes, but there's really not. Yes, there are octaves, there are low Cs, there are high Cs, there are middle C, C4 as we call it, the explosive C, but they're still the same notes. It's just a lower version of that note or a higher version of that note. In fact, let me do this. Let me use this little guy to illustrate something. Look at a little baby MIDI controller right here. What if I told you that these were all the notes that you had to choose from to write music? You'd probably think I was lying. And that's because I am lying. This is twice as many notes as you're allowed. See if I can show you something. A, B, C. Oh, see, I gotta pretend this one's not here. And then like boom. That's it. That's it. That's all the notes you have. See all those notes? You see how many notes? Does that look like a lot of notes? Like is that a lot of notes? That's it. That's all you get. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Yeah, and then don't hit the other C. That's it. Those are the notes. Feel inspired to write a song now? These are all your choices. Generally speaking, pop music, 7 notes, 4 chords. That's what you get. And there have been countless lawsuits throughout the years from some people saying that their version of 7 to 12 notes sounds too much like my version of 7 to 12 notes. And you have to provide tangible evidence that someone ripped you off in a real tangible way. And it's just, you can't own a descending minor scale. You know what I mean? You can't own certain things in music. I can't copyright a descending minor scale, a 1-5-6-4 progression. These are things that we all just have access to because the choices are so limited. That's the point I'm trying to make. Your chordal, tonal, melodic, and harmonic choices are so limited. And yet we're able to create so much. And now enters AI music, where someone can sit, type out a prompt, create an alternative rock song in 4/4 in this key at this tempo, make the lyrics edgy and provocative, and they hit enter and it goes. And then it spits out a song. Whenever I bring this up to normal everyday people, they always say, yeah, but that's soulless AI. You know, no one's going to listen to that. And then I see a Rick Beato video the other day that there's a AI country music song that hit the top of the charts, #1. So it's already happening. It's happening now. AI, a tool that can feed on all of the rules and best practices of tonal harmony, aleatoric music, jazz, hip hop, whatever. And it's not just feeding off of the music that we're creating. I mean, it can feed off of music of the greats, the people that we love, all those aforementioned pop artists, all my favorite people I have hanging on my wall, from John Williams to John Mayer, everything in between. And we would like to think that it doesn't feed off of that, but there's been countless stories and lawsuits and all sorts of things coming out that all of these tech billionaires are illegally feeding their AI professional works, from authors' books to music to whatever. And thankfully, some of these lawsuits have paid off. There was one such case where this company agreed to pay these authors for feeding their machine their written works, but even that's scary because now the damage is done. Now the beast has the information from which it can create. So we know that they're feeding these machines music illegally. They're downloading torrents, gigs, terabytes worth of content to feed the machine. And we all used to laugh at AI videos because they looked horrible. And they still look pretty bad, but man, if they're not getting better and better and better, to the point where YouTube finally stepped in and said, hey, we're going to slow down this compensation model when it comes to videos created with AI. And that was a great step in the right direction. But AI is putting people out of jobs left and right. You read about it all the time. The job of a copywriter, when you go to a website and you look at a product and you're reading all that stuff underneath it about how it can change your life in great ways, a human being used to write those things. And it was a specialized job. They were called copywriters. I have friends who are copywriters who got fired. Now all that stuff just gets pushed to people in the marketing department. Like, just throw it in AI, see what it spits out, edit it a little bit, throw it on the website, call it a day. And that's happening more and more with graphic designers every day. And I just know it's a slippery slope until music is next on the chopping block. Why pay for a music subscription to put in your YouTube video when you can just go to AI and say, create a song that sounds like this for this section of my video? Even film scores have gotten so watered down since the days of John Williams that now even film music is way simpler and very diluted and just atmospheric and moody. I'm sure that's something that AI is going to be able to tackle really well. So now movies are going to be filled with AI slop to save money. Thankfully, California passed that law that you can't use someone's image and likeness in AI in filmmaking. So that's a good step in the right direction. I don't know, man. It's such a weird time to be alive right now. And AI is becoming a tool for the worse, not a tool for the better. And I don't want to sound like some grandpa that's so afraid of the remote that you have to put tape over the scary buttons. I mean, I welcome technology and I use AI. I think AI is a great source for research. It's better than Googling now because it can compile this information and just answer you in a normal way instead of you having to comb these websites and read all this stuff for yourself. So it does save time. But when it comes to art, when it comes to the expression of the human condition, that should be for us. Is that not the point of art? Is for us as human beings, as creatures on this earth, to be able to express the day-to-day gnawing of limiting beliefs and fear and anxiety, or man, even a little joy in this life? Is it not for us to express those things? And so if you think about it, when AI is asked to do that, what's the point? And the main point that I want to illustrate, the thing that I think is so dangerous, is that we go back to what we discussed at the beginning. There's only really 7 to 12 notes to choose from. Generally, songs are only made up of 4 chords amongst those notes. And so now if you give this over to AI, and we see these AI bands popping up on Spotify, it's a real thing. We see this AI country song at the top of the charts, it's a real thing. That is supposed to be for musicians to discover on their own, in their own perfect place and in their own perfect time. We're so thankful as musicians to receive ideas, to have things pop into our head that we think would be great, and then we work at it. And writing music is very difficult. Writing lyrics are difficult, and it's part of the grind that creates the art. It's part of the sculpting and the casting away of what shouldn't be to leave what only there should be. And that's that final polished song that you hear. And so when AI is given all of the rules of music theory that it can now perform perfectly because it's a machine, it's a computer, it's given all the rules, it knows all the notes, all the tempos, it's trained from the greatest musicians on the planet, it can break down all of their bass lines, their melodies, their rhythms, their harmonies, their chords. It's going to inevitably dilute the field of ideas that were supposed to be for us. If AI comes up with this awesome chord change in a bridge that no one's really thought to do yet, which is unlikely. All music that's ever been written has been written, and music is derivative enough anyway. That's the point I'm making. Music is so derivative enough anyway that we're doing our best to make it original, authentic, and interesting, inspiring, and emotional, whether that be happy or whatever, just an emotional expression of the human condition, that now AI can computationally take all of these ideas and spit them out at such a rapid pace that eventually there's not going to be any ideas left. I know that sounds ridiculous and like fear-mongering, but music at its core, you could argue, is a finite medium. There's 7 to 12 notes and 4 to 7-ish chords. I know there's like a lot more chords than that, but still, that you can choose from. And there's only so many ways you can arrange that, go up and down, left and right, Z-axis, X, Y, until the whole graph is filled. Is that not what AI is for? To make a job more efficient, and so efficient that we no longer need humans to do it? Isn't that what they're selling here? The Amazons and the Facebooks of the world. Why pay 10 people when one computer can do it? And I think that's what music could become. AI could steal all of the ideas that we could have eventually stumbled upon. Oh, AI wrote such an interesting bass line. What if that bass line was a few days away from dropping into someone else's head, some other musician's head, and then they go record it? But then they throw it up and it's like, oh no, sorry, the Sunset Overground, I can't remember the name of that AI band. No, they came up with it. Who's they? The person at the computer typing the prompt? They own the bass line now? And I just can't help but think of an homage. Like, this reminds me of Jurassic Park. You know, you had Jeff Goldblum, who was talking to the old man who ran the park, and basically said that, you know, the reason that this is all evil is because it didn't require any discipline to attain it. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could. You packaged it, patented it, and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. And your AI song is number one. Here we are. AI is taking over. And then think about this. Who most stands to gain from AI music? Could it not be the streaming platforms that we pay to use, who already don't pay musicians enough and maybe don't want to pay musicians at all? Spotify already mentioned over the years getting into the content creation space because it was the only way to remain profitable, right? They were going to start making podcasts and doing that sort of stuff. And I don't even know if they do. They might. I don't know. But now imagine if someone at Spotify or other streaming services decided to just go on a campaign of creating fake bands with fake backgrounds, fake stories, fake inspirations, and then started putting out catalogs of fake music, then tweaking that algorithm a little bit so that you hear it more and more, whether you realize it or not. And then they can just continue to make money off music that they didn't create. They just typed it up and spit it out. And then, you know, again, what if I write that song? Do they get to take me to court and say that they create it? I don't know. But we see that happen with everything else in every other industry. Why couldn't it happen in the music industry? And you know what sucks the most is that it's already hard enough to be a musician. No one pays for music anymore. Music is like this basic human right now. Spend your $16 a month or whatever, and every musician in the world just has to bow to you and give you their music for that price forever, and you'll probably make pennies. Streaming on different platforms, you earn pennies. You know, artists already don't get paid. And now we have to compete against computer models that were trained off of the artists that we love and admire and are inspired by. Gross. Not to mention the weird analogy I hear a lot of people talk of where it doesn't cost a glass of water when I pick up my guitar and I strum it and come up with a cool chord progression. It doesn't cost a glass of water when I write a bunch of lyrics. It doesn't cost water when I play a piano. Isn't that a weird thing? Every time you typed a prompt, because of it's all computers that need to be cooled and run, it's literally costing us a precious resource to let a computer steal from us. How far away are we from Skynet at this point? I mean, is it inevitable? You knew I was going to say it at some point, right? I have a Terminator coming up to me with a guitar in his hand asking if I can play. Is this the devil at the crossroads? Am I in Georgia right now? Is this a cross section of the Terminator meets Robert Johnson on the crossroads? Charlie Daniels. What a weird time to be alive. How do we do it? How do we wake up every day and live in this insane time? So here's my main appeal. Just to sum this all up, what's the point? What's the call to action here? Music is already derivative enough. All Western music is built off of a foundation of 7 to 12 notes and generally only uses 4 chords. AI will dilute the idea pool and rob it from the muses that we're going to send it down to us. You know, they're going to steal it and take it, and there will be nothing left for us. So my call to action is this. If you are a musician, I'll start with you because you'll be the easiest to convince. You probably already hate this anyway. Don't use AI for any part of your music. Oh, I'm a guitar player. I use AI to write drums and a bass line. Don't do it. It would be better to have a loop in your DAW. And we used to think loops were lame, but then the industry started using them. So you know what? We gave up. Fine. Use a drum and a bass loop if you want to play guitar over it, but just don't use AI. The cost is worth more than you know. Don't use it for any part of your music. If you need a string section, if you need a funky bass line, if you need a cool drum fill, figure it out, which I know you can do. Even better, find a friend that can do it. Don't have any friends that can do it? Make a friend, or just don't do it. Guitar's cool enough on its own. You don't need all that stuff. Second call to action. This is way tougher because what are you supposed to do as a non-musician? Are you really supposed to audit everything that comes across your Spotify screen? Is that really your job now to handle this for musicians? I don't know, man. Do you like music? If you detect something's AI and you look at it and it seems off and quacks like a duck and looks like a duck, ban it, skip it, delete it. I don't even know how can you block music on these platforms? Oh man, this isn't going well. I should be able to tell you how to do this. Just don't listen to AI music. Do the best you can. I know it's hard. It's like you're just trying to live your life. You don't need to worry about every last little thing. I get it. But if you can, try to support real musicians. I don't even know what to tell you to do anymore. The joke of art being dead has been around for a long time. Many people think that art died decades ago. And I get it, because the earth spins because of money. Ever since money got tied up so closely with art and commodified and slapped on the side of a plastic lunchbox, it just is what it is. But I fear that maybe art's on its last breath and AI will be what kills it, Art is dead. And I don't want that to happen. So try not to support AI music. When it comes to art, and the expression of the human condition, resist AI for your sake and for ours. And listen, if you don't want to take my word for it, why don't you take the word of some of your favorite artists on the subject? In an open letter to the streaming music platforms, a petition against AI music was signed by Hiatus Coyote, Andrew Huang, Anthony Fontano, Snarky Puppy, Kimbra, Anderson Paak, Animals as Leader, Danny Brown, and the list goes on and on and on. The Society of Composers and Lyricists has also put out a few statements asking for a nuanced approach to AI, but still strongly for the idea of protecting composers, songwriters, and musicians against having their music exploited and being used against them. I'll add these posts to the description box below. So to sum it all up, 7 to 12 notes from Beethoven's Fifth to Blink-182. That's all any musician gets. AI will take those rules and spit out as much music to make it impossible for any of us to survive and ever create again. Don't support anything that uses AI, from video to graphics to audio to anything, especially music, because this is a music channel. Always remember, any piece of music you ever hear on my channel, I wrote, because that's the point. And listen, I don't want to admonish or condone this next idea, and I'm not even going to say what the idea really is. But musicians, if you're listening, I've heard talk in the streets of a service you can utilize to make your song, your final piece of music before you distribute it. You can make it anti-AI, where AI won't be able to train off of your track. If that's something you're interested in, I encourage you to do your own research. It's just something I heard. I don't want to get into it. I still don't really know how I feel about it. I don't know if I want some hidden thing in my track, but I know some people who are using it who are so excited to do it. So, little devil, little angel. I don't know. It's up to you. Do your own research. Love you. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Resist AI.